Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival 2021 Q&As. I'm Rena Christian. Thank you for joining us. This year, our full program will be screened online from September the 22nd to the 28th with our new media exhibition available online and in person at Grandison Lab Belmont. You can check them out tomorrow, Friday the 24th, and Saturday 25th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have for the filmmakers, and we will try to answer them during the session. And of course, don't forget to check out our films at watcheventive.org/ttff21. We also would like to thank all our TTFF 21 sponsors and partners. NGC is our signature sponsor this year, and we have leading sponsorship from Shell Trinidad and Tobago, Republic Bank Limited, as well as contributing and supporting sponsorship from the NLCD and Sport and Culture Fund, respectively. All right, so today I have with me Toni Venturi for the film In My Skin, and well, I call him Vinny, Vinicius Sassine. I know I got that wrong.
Vini.
All right, so I'm going to call you Vinny. All right. So Toni, I'm going to start with you. All right. So the film In My Skin is a very informative. It's a very informative film and very personal at the same time. We are privy to the stories of Brazilian nationals who experienced racism at different degrees, from being mistaken as a waiter to being murdered by police. Toni, tell me, what was your intention for making the film?
First of all, thank you very much, and good evening to everyone. Brazil is going through in the last years. Is going through a very hard situation because right now we have extreme right-wing government that has been attacking our development, so on. So I was trying 4 years ago. I was trying to understand why we are going through all those changes. Why the people elected an extreme right-wing government, and I got into a research and find out that there was one aspect that I had not never had thought about it. That was the racial question. But how could a white man, a privileged white man, make a film about the racial question? So I decided to listen. I decided to hear, and that's why I made it with Paul Gomez, the co-director of the film, and with all black team, technical and creative team. And I went through this experience to understand my country because everything got really upside down in the last years. And I discovered, not that I discovered, I always knew about it, but I never had given the center importance to the racial question. And this was my dive into it, to try to understand better my country. This was my intention.
Okay, all right, very nice. So one thing I noticed in the film, right? You actually had a mirror. Can you tell me why you gave viewers the opportunity to see your own face and the faces of the crew members in the film? Tell me about the significance of that mirror.
Yeah, as I went through all those changes, and as I was discovering all the subtle and deep questions of the racial inequality and the racism in Brazil that I always knew about it, but I didn't know all the subtleties. I decided to put myself into it, put my face into it in order to because I made this film for the white people, for the white population, the black population. You know, they know all about it. They live that in their skin every day. So, in order to have to identify the white audiences, I put myself in front of the mirror. I expose myself to say, look, we have to do something about the racism. It's about time, you know. It's about time. Look, white people, wake up. This was the reason I put the mirror in the film, literally.
Okay. You know, throughout the film, some of the people you were interviewing, they said things like white is power. To be white is to be invisible. How did you feel in that moment?
There was one of the people we interviewed, Leah Weiner, the teacher. She told me something that I got really intrigued. That like a child when is born, she doesn't know that she's white or black. What what makes us to separate ourselves because of our skin? It's the culture. It's all the heritage, the colonial culture that we carry on throughout our lives. So when a black kid finds out that he's black, this is something of a great impact for it. And why? Because we are the power about our skin. Because we deal as the world would be like that, and this is not true for them. So I try to invert the thing. I try to put myself in front of it, and I put the white people in the mirror, my spectator. This was the idea, to think about this deep question, like why we were always invisible.
Okay. They're parents of a newborn in the film that you showcase, and they talked about the hope that they have for their child's future. Tony, I'm curious, what is the hope for Brazil that you have for Brazil's future?
Wow, I need a couple hours to answer this question, but I will try very, very quickly. I have a dream. I think all the humanist people, filmmakers, artists, society, all the good people has a dream to have a country with less injustice, with more equality between whites and blacks, more freedom, genre freedom, and I think although we live in a very strange and difficult situation right now because of an extreme right-wing government, I think we're going to change next year in the elections, and we'll be able to come back a path where we can come back to rebuild an agenda that will make the social differences and the racial difference. We will attack it and make it a development in terms of social difference and racial difference. This is our my hope, and the hope I think all the good people, and I think the future is okay because we had 15 years of center-left wing, social democratic government that included millions of people, millions of black people in the university. And this generation, in 20 years, will be in power, and then we will be able to do a real change. Because right now we have this old, white, high middle class people in power, but they will go because they are old. What's coming behind, the youth that's coming behind, is my hope. It's the hope that will make a Brazil, a country with more freedom, less injustice, and more opportunities to everyone. This is my dream.
Beautifully said. I think that's what we all want for our own country. Vinny, so you are here because of your film Custody, all right? And I'm just going to tell the viewers a bit about the film. In the film Custody, we see LGBT youth in a low income area doing what they can to survive. Now, I really saw some youth thriving in this instance. A young man makes and sells edibles with his transgender friend, and they get in trouble with the law and serve time. Vinny, what did you hope to achieve with this film?
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for this invitation, for this conversation. It's a pleasure to share this moment with another Brazilian director that produced a beautiful movie, and it's a big opportunity. It's a happy moment, especially because this is the world premiere of Custódia, in Portuguese, Custódia. And I'm so happy because this festival is very beautiful. And I saw many films in this festival in this first 2 days. And I truly happy to be here. Custody is a movie about two black young Brazilian that live in that city that I live, Brasilia. Brasilia is the capital of Brazil, but it's not a very no city. It's a strange city. It's a political city. So the movie, the intention is show the reality of the peripheral areas in the city and show the contrast, the difference between the peripheric areas and the center area where live the rich people and where the rich people go to the bars, to the parties. And in these places, there are a lot of young citizens that saw little quantity of drugs, especially marijuana, and we have a legislation that it's not so fair, and this legislation we need to discuss this legislation because there is a big incarceration, a lot of prison of this young Brazilian, this black young Brazilian. The movie, the achievement of the movie is only tell these two histories, but with these two histories, I wanted to promote a discussion about the political and the legislation about drugs in Brazil.
So, Vinny, how can the government better serve or help LGBT youth? With that being said,
Yeah. The movie has two main characters, Icaro and Valesca. Icaro is a gay boy, and Valesca is a transgender woman. This thematic is so important too in the movie. It's not only a movie about a reflection about the legislation of drugs, but there is a strong reflection about this thematic, the thematic of sexuality in a country that kill a lot of transgender women, and in a country that has a strong conservative movement, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. We have a government that is extremely conservative. The president talk a lot about gay people and talk a lot with strong words against gay people, transgender people. I consider this theme in thematic in the movie is so important, because it's important to discuss these questions about sexuality, especially in these peripheric areas, because these young people suffer a lot of prejudice, and we have a lot of problems of to be safe, and this include that to be safe in the act of to express your sexuality. The move try to show this big quantities of aspects, like the difficult of the situation with the police, the difficult with this legislation, and the difficult to express your sexuality in the neighborhood that you live.
So, in addition to sexuality in the film, you touched on topics of family and spirituality in the film. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, this is so important. This documentary, when I shot this documentary, I don't have like a guide. I only shot the movie. Of course, I found these characters. I studied these characters. I had a lot of conversation with both of these characters. But the documentary is free. I only let the documentary conduce the story. The characters conduce the story, and in this process, I discover this importance of the spirituality of Valeska, especially. Valeska is a girl that have the Umbanda. Umbanda is a religion like Candomblé, and both religion are religion that Black people came to Brazil, and this religion have a lot of problems with persecution, and there isn't freedom of manifestation of this religion, and the Umbanda is so important to Valeska because she's a girl without a lot of things. And in the religion, she found a sense of her life. And I think in a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, that this is showed in the documentary, it's possible to note that it's so strong for her. And I'm happy with this because I wanted that the movie talk about drugs, legislation, conservative movement, and sexuality things, sexuality theme, and this question about religion, and this religion that is so persecuted in Brazil and is so important for these people, for a lot of people in Brazil.
Thank you so much for joining us. And these were 2 incredible films. I just, look forward to it being shared all over the world and the response it's going to get, because it's 2 very, very powerful films. All right. And I look forward to just seeing the work that you have in the future. I'm very, very excited to be exposed to your work. All right. But that's all the time we have, guys. All right, so thanks for everyone joining us on this Q&A. Don't forget, you can still catch all of these great films as they're screening today. So check out the ttfilmfestival.com website, where you can find all the information on how to buy tickets and check out the films coming up as well. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.